Hi and happy Friday. It's Jen from Peanut Butter Runner. I am just going to check in with you guys with a video post today. It's been a while since I've done really any kind of video. I was on a good streak there for a while with yoga and workout and video blogging and all kinds of stuff. But then I got a little bit busy with life stuff and had to cut back on that. Just to give you guys an idea of kind of what I've been up to lately that I haven't shared on the blog. I've been working on a couple new websites. The biggest one I've been working on is for the club. Totally redesigning our website and new content and everything. So that has been my baby all summer and it's launching this afternoon. So I'm really excited about that. And then on top of that, I've also been working on a personal website that will hopefully also launch this weekend. And with that is going to come some exciting new developments around hopefully me starting to travel and do some yoga workshops and speaking engagements and things like that. So I will for sure share all the details with you as soon as I'm ready to go completely live and public with that site. All right, so I got a lot of questions last Friday when I asked for questions. I meant to do this video blog last week, but got a little bit sidetracked about all the home improvement madness that was happening in my house over the weekend. So we're going to do it now. We'll go ahead and get started with the first question from Amber. I feel like I've addressed this before, but 7 people liked her question, so I feel like I need to address it again. But Amber said she wants advice on balancing strength training, yoga, and running. She loves them all, but when she works full-time, it feels hard to balance all of it into her week. So kind of what I've shared that I try to do in the past, I do try to fit all 3 of those things into a week. But I kind of just see how I'm feeling every week. My baseline is to have at least 2 strength training days, at least 2 or 3 yoga days, and at least like 2 run days. Ideally, one of those would be more prevalent throughout the course of the week. And I just find that that changes from week to week and month to month depending on several factors, like if I'm training for anything specific or just my energy levels. But I do try to get all 3 in during a week, but I don't stress out about getting a ton of all 3 of them in, but usually one does end up being a little bit more prevalent than the other. And I really love just keeping it mixed up and doing just a little bit of everything. Okay, we will move on. Erica says, I'm a college student living on my own for the first time, and I would love to hear some tips as to how you grocery shop and create meals for yourself. This one makes me smile because I remember going off to college and I was very fortunate not to live in the dorms my freshman year. And you should have seen my roommate and I trying to put together meals. I grew up in a family where my dad cooked and we ate dinner together every night, but I wasn't super interested in cooking until I went to college and I was like, oh shit, I probably need to learn how to cook or I'm not going to be able to eat the way that I'm used to eating. Luckily, my grandmother was in the college town where I was living, so I had her as a resource, and I also had my dad on speed dial. Daddy, how do I cook this? How do I cook this? What do I do with this? Is this still good? Do you have a recipe for this? But anyway, back to your question. That question makes me happy. Okay, here's how to first tackle it. Figure out a few meals that work well for you, or ways to put together meals, and then start playing from there. So maybe you have like a staple grocery list every week, and I always recommend doing your shopping 1 time a week, especially if you're in college and you're on a budget. If you shop once a week, you will save so much money if you kind of make a plan for the week and just go and get your stuff all at once. Because when you go to the grocery store every single day thinking, oh, what do I want to eat today? You are going to spend so much more money and you're just going to be stressed out about what you're eating that way. So here's kind of how I make that happen. Maybe one week that you're going to the grocery store, you say, okay, for breakfast this week, my breakfasts are mainly going to be cereal and fruit or oatmeal or whatever. So you get those ingredients for different variations of that breakfast. Then you say, okay, for lunches this week, I'm feeling turkey sandwiches and soup. Or for lunch this week, I think I want to do big salads because I'm going to need to make them the night before and then take them with me because I don't have a break between classes. And then for dinner, I would say probably try to plan. For me, it works well to try to plan like at least 4 dinners. If I do more than that, I find out that I waste food. And if I do less than that, I might kind of run out. But as far as planning your dinners, again, I would just start really simple. When I was in college, I thought it was like amazing when I could boil some pasta and get some red sauce on top of there and mix in some meat or veggies, make a salad on the side. Even today, one of my very first things, or very favorite things to do, is just protein and then roast veggies on the side. So I might cook a piece of chicken or a piece of salmon, and then on the side, I just turn the oven on 400 and I stick some sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts, whatever I have on hand in the oven. I know that you probably need a little bit more specific direction. When I went to college, I was like, oh, chicken breast, how do I cook that? So we'll talk more about that. That might be like a fun series to do, because I know I do have a lot of college girl readers on kind of helping you girls figure out meal planning in college and how to do that with your roommates and stuff too. So let's think more about that. Okay, moving on. Janelle says she's a full-time RN working nights and has 3 little kids, and she'd love advice and tips on home workouts. And someone else also asked me for easy workouts that didn't require a lot of equipment that they could do at home. There are tons of workouts you can do at home. The only issue with working out at home is the motivation, especially if you've got 3 kids running around the house to actually make the workout happen. So I would say first to dedicate a space to figure out like where you're going to do the workouts, and kind of shut it off and don't have any distractions so that you're kind of setting yourself up for success there. And then my favorite way to work out is with my own body weight. I have a body weight Tabata 20-minute workout that's on my blog. I would totally recommend that for anybody that's looking for a really good home workout that's a good mix of strength and also cardio. Also, you could just pick up 1 set of dumbbells, you know, maybe 5, 7, 10 pounds, something like that. And I have several like simple dumbbell circuit workouts on my blog as well. There's tons you can do with your body weight, a set of dumbbells, and then maybe get a stability ball or something. I also have a stability ball core workout on my blog as well. So I would check all those things out. And then after you kind of set a base and get yourself in the habit, then you can start playing with looking up other workouts. There's tons of resources out there. I mean, Pinterest has made workout like explosion. It's crazy if you've seen all the stuff people are posting on there. So there's lots of inspiration. It's just getting yourself in the habit to actually do the workout at home. It is hard, and I know I am so bad at working out at home other than just going out for a run. Okay, let's move on to Lisa says, advice for a yoga novice, where should she begin? What style help? I can't really tell you what style you should begin with. I can give you some ideas, but yoga is so unique to the person that the way I would recommend that you start is by actually, if it's available in your town, going to yoga studios, visiting them, and trying different studios, different classes, and different teachers. What resonates with one does not resonate with all. I love hot yoga. Some people hate the hot. I love power, fast yoga. Some people love to be slow and hold the poses. So just a couple ideas of things for you to check out. Power yoga, vinyasa yoga, those are my 2 favorites. Ashtanga yoga is another favorite of mine. If you're looking for something a little slower and more restorative, maybe check out Hatha or Iyengar or Anusara classes. And then if you're looking for hot and a little more structure, maybe Bikram. I would just kind of give yourself a taste of everything, try it more than once, and see what feels good for you and your body. Okay. I like this one. Rebecca asked, advice for women who lift weights, how heavy, how much, etc. This is, again, unique to the woman, but if it's something you're interested in and open to, I'm trying to kind of figure out how to say this. I think that women should lift heavier weights. I ultimately got the tone and definition in my body from Body Pump, which is lower weights at higher repetitions. But even in Body Pump, I got to the point where my squat weight was over 50 pounds for over 100 reps in 5 minutes. So I did get pretty heavy with that. But so here's kind of what happens when you're working at the lighter weight and the higher reps. It's okay to do the higher reps, but when you're the heavier stuff is good for supplementing and like really finding strength gains. So you would never want to do 100 reps like we do in body pump of 125-pound back squats. I mean, first of all, it's just physically would be impossible. But second, it's not doing anything good for your body. So if you are interested in heavy lifting, which I think if you're good with your form and your technique and you do want to start adding some weight on, maybe working in smaller sets. Like I'm talking, let's see, maybe like 5 sets of 5 front squats or deadlifts or back squats at maybe, like 75% of your max. Something that's challenging for you to get through the set, but you can get through the whole thing unbroken. But you're looking here to be working at percentages of your max, which is another thing that's kind of mind-boggling for a lot of girls, because when we think about maxing out, how many of you have like crazy nightmares back to when you were in high school in the weight room and your coach made you find your max and you were trying to bench press 55 pounds and felt like your arms were going to fall off? It's kind of funny to go back to doing that again, but finding your max is a really great way to efficiently put yourself into a strength program that you can progress through. Again, this is something that we need to get more in detail on and probably warrants like a more in-depth post and some references for you. Okay, I don't know how helpful I was with that. I was kind of all over the place, but I did want to talk about it. Let's do a couple more. We're 12 minutes in. I'll try to wrap this up by 15. Okay. My friend Alyssa wants tips to help lean out. Is it all about lowering your carbs and your fats and upping protein and veggies? Okay. I would say it isn't just about lowering carbs and fats. In fact, I believe fats are a super important part of the diet, and I would never really reduce those in my diet. I need them or else I'd be a hungry monster all the time. So I definitely would not recommend that she cuts back a ton on fat, just certain types of fat. Of course, if you're trying to lean out, you don't want to be eating ice cream fat, but avocado and peanut butter fat is okay. But as far as leaning out goes, so what Alyssa's been doing lately, just to give y'all some background, she's been working her ass off strength training. And it's kind of something that's new to her that she hadn't done before. And she's seen really big changes in her body. And so now I think she's wanting to just kind of find that last little bit of space of tone that she wants to get to. So for girls that are trying to do that, the key is to find something that's sustainable. We can all go on these like crazy, weightlifting diets where you eat the craziest combinations of food certain times a day and all this kind of stuff, but it's not sustainable. For long term, I would say that the lower carb, I would never say eliminate all carbs, but the lower carb is better for just overall eliminating bloat and not holding on to water weight. And as far as water weight goes, drink more water, especially when you're trying to lean out. So yes, focus on your protein, focus on getting enough water, and just honestly, it's eating just a clean diet, which y'all, Alyssa is an amazing vegan, vegetarian chef, so her diet's pretty clean as it is. But that's what I would say there. Just don't go on any crazy elimination diet or anything like that. And the last one is a fun one for me. Pam said, yoga teacher training, learning Sanskrit, help, it's just not sticking. It probably took me a solid year of teaching yoga before I started incorporating any Sanskrit into my classes. And as far as that goes, when you use the Sanskrit, you want it to feel authentic. You don't just want it to feel scholarly, like, oh, look at me, I'm a yoga teacher, I know all of this Sanskrit. You want to feel comfortable saying the words and not use them to say the name of every single pose, because for most of your students, the Sanskrit is going to be a little foreign to them. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll cue a first round of sun salutations and I'll say upward facing dog, downward facing dog, And then after we've done that a couple times, I might go into cueing them using the Sanskrit. So by that time they know what's coming and I can use the Sanskrit and they're not looking at me like, what pose do you want me to do? So, you know, third or fourth time through a sun salutation, I might say, inhale Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, exhale Adho Mukha Svanasana, and take them through the Sanskrit for the sun salutation. Or I might say, you know, Trikonasana, triangle pose. But I would say just start playing with little uses of it as you become comfortable, but don't force it. It's fine if you just call the poses by their American names. Okay, I promised I would cut this off around 15 minutes, and we're at 15 and a half. So happy Friday and happy weekend. I think I'm going to take the pup and head to the mountains tomorrow for a day hike and just get out of Charlotte and then teach my yoga church class on Sunday. So I hope everybody has a beautiful weekend, and I hope your team wins. The Dogs lost last week, so I'm hoping they can pull off a big win against South Carolina this week. Go Dogs, and I'll see y'all next week.